here, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he is met. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Play action. Now it's Rodgers.
He has it. Loose inside the 30. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And normally when you see guys move it this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play, and then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off, and he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, Next Gen Stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else he'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Rodgers to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Kyler Gordon picks it off. And the Bears are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive.
So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 19-yard line. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Brought down that time by Quay Walker. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Officially nothing on that one. No gain. So they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
They're going to run the jet sweep on 3rd down.
And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is taken around the 12. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They had a good drive going their first time out, ended with the interception. The good news is they get kind of a mulligan because we're still at 0-0.
They certainly do, and you notice he spent a lot of time on the phone. You know, I know he wasn't talking to mom and dad on that one. He was talking to the eyes upstairs, talking to the coaching staff. Guaranteed. What did you see? What was I doing? How do we make sure that doesn't happen again in this ball game?
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Well, this defense for the Bears, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
There on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Come up with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are, positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
On second down, there's the option going left. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
Now that's what he can do here when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
No score after one on EA Sports. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third. The Bears at 5-7 now on the year. They've been playing their best football of the year. Winners of 4 in a row.
And I thought they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Great stop by Devontae Wyatt, breaking through the line and stopping it cold. After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Back to throw, Fields. And this one's incomplete.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back, I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off or if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey already? Isn't that the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern a little bit. Whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Someone moved, flag is out. That's going to be 5 yards.
And that'll drive coaches crazy. You work all week on dealing with loud crowds, on dealing with motion, and then you have a guy jump.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And he almost had his 2nd pick of the game. Probably should have. And he's frustrated as it falls incomplete.
Well, no surprise there. He was looking for one of his favorite targets again as soon as he left the pocket. But the coverage was good downfield. They got right to the receiver and helped prevent that completion.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 26. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
From the 17, Rodgers. Caught by Jones.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up first and goal.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling the pressure from the defense, he uses their aggressiveness against them.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
And now third and goal coming up, the loss on second down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. Rodgers now to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Lewis. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a fourth and goal.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
So now on fourth down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. The kick by Crosby is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room, an open week is always good, guys. Take it and let's go with it.
Well, they had the run. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now Andy Lee will come on to punt this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. To throw is Rodgers.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Rodgers now on first down.
Completes it again to Dobbs. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On play action, Rodgers.
Looking for Tunyon on the crosser, and he's got it complete. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
An inside give to Jones. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. The 20. And with the clock reading zeros, he is into the end zone. What an exclamation mark to the end of this second quarter.
Indeed. Indeed.
So an incredible turn of events there. The final play in the half results in a blocked field goal return, and the lead changes hands with zeros on the clock.
Can you imagine the confusion going through the brain of the head coach right now? Because it changes the pep talk, doesn't it? He's ready to go in and read them the riot act. Instead, all of a sudden, he's winning. What does he say to the team now?
So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
And they'll run the option to start the drive.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
How about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Darnell Savage there to make the tackle. Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter. Back to Montgomery on second down.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
from the shotgun now. Here's an inside give. Trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. Here's Andy Lee now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And it's a fake here on 4th and inches. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool them. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
How about that for a call? Leading in the second half, fake punt, but this one's going to work against them.
And, partner, I love a fake punt as much as anyone. In fact, I might love it more than other people, but in this case, probably a step too far because not only does it not work, but look at the field position they gave up after the attempt.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Last run, they'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Rodgers.
Got Dobbs over the middle. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On play action, it's Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time.
Picked off by Jaquan Brisker.
He's at the 30. 10, 5, and they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
So that a real wrench thrown in now for this offense. They're trying to make a game of this in the 3rd quarter, but that is not going to help.
Yeah, partner, probably should have used a different tool on that play, right? That ultimately is the kind of play where you can lose a ball game instead of being in a position to win.
And that flag accepted.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 18. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Pressure, they got him again. Robert Quinn dropping it for the 2nd straight play. Might want to think about blocking him here on 3rd down.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Throwing is Rodgers. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now it's Rodgers. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And the broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's Rodgers. Jones has it.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here's 2nd and a yard.
And again, it's Rodgers.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
But you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers getting together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
And he's going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Up the middle, Jones.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rodgers. This is caught. And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
They trust that man in the backfield, and he took him home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
They're going to run for it with Jones, but he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10.
Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Quay Walker
from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow them to convert a 3rd and 18.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
And he is going to lose yardage here.
Rashawn Gary that time through the line and getting the tackle for loss.
So with your team leading in the 4th quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
Has his man, it's Shakir.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left. He tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
That's caught by Montgomery. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The Bears on the move. They've got another 1st down.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep.
Touchdown, Chicago!
David Montgomery,
his 6th touchdown of the season.
And the Bears add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he is out of bounds here on the return. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Eddie Jackson picks it. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. Santos with the extra point, and that will make this a 19-point game. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback.
Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Throwing now is Rodgers.
That's complete to Dobbs.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Rodgers. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Here's Rodgers to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And it's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down. Now Rodgers, gotta have this one. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
This was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for Chicago,